Hello guys, S2W here with your next casual consumer's perspective review. In this video, we'll be looking at one of the most anticipated release of October 2018. Starting the month strong with the ever so popular and hyped up collab since the end of 2017, Nike has once again released the follow-up colorways of one of the most underrated sneaker release from the original The 10 by Off-White collection. Today, I have the 10 Nike Blazer Mid Grim Reaper by Off-White here for a review. Now, I was lucky enough to score a pair of these at sneaker boutique Haven Toronto through their in-store raffle, and excitingly enough, it seems like stock was pretty healthy in Toronto considering there was a lineup for pickups in store. That almost never happens, especially with the Nike and Off-White collabs, so I'm pretty sure the chances were high in scoring a pair here in Toronto. Although stock was high, demand was also crazy as hell, so people still took L's, so I'm glad I still have a pair here for today's review. But I digress, this sneaker or colorway is part of the spooky pack where two colorways were released in celebration of Halloween. The other colorway is called the Hallow's Eve, whereas this Grim Reaper is considered as the more versatile option. How's it in hand though? Let's take a closer look at these sneakers. Looking at these up front, we can clearly see it rocks a simple color palette by using black as the dominant base colorway. Taking the Nike's Blazers iconic introduction from the 1970s as a basketball shoe and has since transformed with new design lines and detail, it's now equipped with a modern style and street-ready look. This Nike and Off-White collaboration takes on the mid-cut silhouette of the Blazers that offer an overall more supportive fit. Utilizing a premium leather upper seen clearly around the collar panels of the shoe and much of the medial surface of the upper, the medial side is also stamped with Off-White's iconic logo print, stating most of the collaborative details such as the brand names, name of the shoe, country of origin, and the date of creation, which is partially blocked off by the large white Nike swoosh. This swoosh branding overlaps the back of the shoes connected to the other side of the sneaker by ending it with another swoosh, which is oddly satisfying due to the symmetrical aesthetic. This swoosh isn't flush against the upper as well, but rather a whole external piece that seems to be glued down to the surface instead, adding depth to the shoe. On the lateral side, we will see a layer of translucent fly mesh panel on top of what I would assume is leather upper underneath. This fly mesh looks like the same material seen on the React Elements 87, but since the upper is made out of leather underneath, we won't see the colors of our socks here, and rather is there to probably deconstruct it a little bit more to stay true to Off-White's principal concept. This fly mesh is also seen at the forefront of the shoes too, where it will eventually get covered by a durable plastic piece of toe guard reinforcement. Furthermore, this is also the same surface where we'll see a bright orange tab, a staple branding from the 10 collection. Speaking of branding, another iconic one is the Off-White tag that comes along with the shoe, and this time is drenched with a baby blue hang tag instead of the regularly seen red tag. The other thing that's different is that on the medial side, the side of the forefront is supported with a piece of suede panel, which as we can see is connected to the other soft suede overlays used to strengthen the lace openings of the sneaker, threaded with black nylon laces on this colorway with the shoe laces branding in quotation near the lace tips. If you don't like these laces, they do come with a white variant with orange colored shoe laces text instead. At the back of the shoes, we will see the Nike text branding at the top of the collar, encircled with suede details around the logo. We will continue to see some of the exposed foam here as well to keep the deconstructed look alive, whereas at the bottom of the heel counter, a series of text could be seen here that essentially gets translated to fall of 2018, men's basketball, and lastly from what I've heard, the model number of the silhouette and possibly the sizing of the sneaker. Other than what we can see straightforwardly, we have to appreciate the smaller details of this collab, including the zigzag stitching on the lateral panel, the dotted holes on the medial leather surface that draws out the Nike swoosh branding if connected together, and these same dots can also be vaguely seen on the fly mesh surface on the lateral side as well. Then if we take a look at the tongue of the sneaker, we'll see that it's padded with foam again, which is a staple to the collaborative design with Nike. This soft padded tongue is finished with a bright orange stitching near the top too, with a Nike Sportswear logo patch added onto the side of the tongue. Inside the shoe, however, is less exciting, where the inner wall lining is made out of soft regular fabric that's padded slightly for a more comfortable Achilles and ankle rest. There's also an insole glued down to the footbed as well for a more comfortable cushioning against the floor, branded with Off-White and the 10's logo at the heel area. Last but not least, the midsole and outsole of the sneaker is made out of black durable rubber. Most of the cushioning will come from the insole as the rubber is quite strong and tough by touch, and when we flip it over, we will see the simple yet effective traction pattern for all kinds of surfaces. Anyways, here are some the 10 Nike Blazer Mid Grim Reaper by Off-White fit footage. Sizing wise, I went true to size, and what I feel is that even with wide feet, the narrowness was still tolerable. What I did was unlace the whole thing and it automatically felt fine. I can see some people going up half a size on these for wide feet, but thankfully I didn't need to, and if I did, I would have felt there was too much toe room for my personal taste. So always unlace a brand new shoe to see if it's really that uncomfortable, as unlacing and lacing it back up yourself can make it less tight on feet. Comfort wise, they're okay. Again, there's not much bouncy cushion on this model, and everything is coming from the foam insole. We know full well that buying this shoe is because of the looks, or to some, the hype of this shoe more than the comfort. It's not uncomfortable, but it just can't be compared to the newer technologies that we have today. The shoe is a lot more lightweight than I had thought as well, so it's not terribly heavy, which is easy on the feet, and since it's a mid-cut model as well, support is definitely a bit more enhanced on the silhouette as it hugs around our ankles a lot. Ventilation might be another story though, as it does seem like it's not as friendly on this model since it doesn't look like there's much room for heat to escape. Other than that, this colorway just looks fantastic in my opinion. You can't really go wrong with a black and white shoe, and the little hints of orange creates a nice subtle contrast that works really well with this sneaker. Apart from the poor QC such as glue marks and leather scratches on my pair, which can't be seen unless someone's face is right in front of it, it's a decent looking shoe and perfect not only for the fall season, but all the other seasons as well since the colorway is just so basic and adaptable. Price wise, these were 170 Canadian dollars before tax, probably the least, if not, one of the least expensive Nike and Off-White collab pricing. In Canada, these are reselling for nearly quadruple the price, so I am pretty happy to be able to grab a pair. As always, throw me some likes if you liked this video and let me know in the comments if you took a W2 or an L on this release. If you've noticed on my Instagram and YouTube updates, I did actually win 2 pairs of these Grim Reapers and was able to swap a pair with another lucky winner to the Hallows Eve pair coincidentally. So stay tuned to my close-up look of those coming up next. That's it for today, S2W signing off.